I felt the suspense. I'm shaking right now and sweating.
I'm pissing and shitting. You know what?
There's no Iron Crag.
Crag wouldn't be able to find the bathroom in Castle Oblivion.
Yeah. Let's flush him through the toilet once we do find it.
Imagine if they actually did have toilets too, and they have to go through the infinite nightmare series of rooms just to find it.
Yeah, you get like the super rare map card that's like
super rare
room of
map
toilets.
toilet card.
The room of toilet.
Or Zemnis just comes out and he's like, Larkstein, you need to stop flushing your tampons down the toilet. It's clogging the pipes.
No, the best part about this, Zemnis would absolutely set it up with gendered bathrooms. So not only would they have to find one specific toilet in the Nightmare series, Larkstein would have to find the only women's bathroom.
But,
Damn.
yeah.
She's the only girl there.
Alternatively, Zemnis is so stupid that he still splits it like 50-50, so there's like... so she
So all
just
the
has like
guys
10
have to
toilets to
struggle.
herself.
Xian wouldn't be allowed to use the bathroom. Zemnis is like, there are no women's bathrooms. Girls don't poop.
Do you think Sigmar goes to the toilet or teleports his poop away?
Oh my god.
Zemnis does have to shit, but he shits nothingness because he has power over nothingness.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say, like, do you think he has to poop or... You know, everyone will be really confused about all the toilet and shit talk, because it's really just a thing between us, but like, that's good. We can just say that they just forgot about it once they stepped into this podcast or something.
So
Yep.
true.
And then I finally create the YouTube video for the Kingdom Hearts toilet theory, and then it clicks in like 2 years.
And one of us writes on Wattpad a fan fiction where they have to find toilet. That's what we were referencing the whole time, but it released after the episode came out.
Toilet is real.
We find on AO3 somebody wrote that for us per this episode.
Wait, I have to...
I'm me, he says.
Kyrie's inside me?
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Who are you?
I'm what's left. Or maybe I'm all there ever was.
I meant your name.
Capital P.
Fuck. Hello and welcome to the Hyperfixation, where our friends come onto our show and tell us about things they're excited about for 30 or 45 minutes or longer. And honestly, the timer's a lie, so who knows? We'll see what happens. My name is Roma. I use the they and them pronouns, and today a very special guest returns to the podcast. But before we introduce them, let me introduce you, my co-host for the episode today, Kingdom.
I'm back. I'm not the guest, I'm also the host, but I'm here to hang out with my buddy who is also here.
Our very loved and dear buddy, the one, the only, Plaquas.
Hello. I'm
He's
back. I'm back.
We're back.
Woo!
And you know what that means.
A 3-hour episode.
Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts.
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Oh, yes. I guess the cat's out of the bag. I'm back to talk about Kingdom Hearts. But this time,
I'm so excited.
another game. I'm not doing Dark Road again. I've not touched that since season... Was that season 1?
That was it? Let me
Was
look.
it? I
Let me
think
look.
season 2.
Let me look.
Because
Dark Road was season 1.
It was.
Time is fake. Time is fake. Time is fake.
But yeah, I've not touched Dark Road since. So yeah.
Holy crap! It's been 3 seasons since we talked about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. And there's been no new news.
Yeah, no news at all.
The Kingdom Hearts fandom is dying.
That's what I was gonna ask. Did they release anything new for Dark Road? Do you know? I know they haven't announced anything with the Pokemon Go looking game.
No.
And we haven't gotten any more trailers for KH4.
There was a closed beta in Japan, I think. So there were some people streaming that. I think no, I don't think they streamed it, but some people like informed us that it is going to be a Pokemon Go kind of game, and that's all we know. And it's not even been like officially announced. So
which, like, I mean, they just made a Monster Hunter version of that same kind of Pokemon Go Niantic game. So that's probably what it's going to be like. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about new Kingdom Hearts stuff. Yes. No one cares about.
Forget about all that.
We don't. We're back in the Dark Seeker saga, baby.
It never ends.
Going back to the roots.
Yeah,
it never ends.
Oh my goodness. Should we, before we like deep dive into it, do we want to like cover for those who may be new to the show, your resume, if you will, with Kingdom Hearts?
My resume with Kingdom Hearts. I don't really remember how much I talked about this in like the Dark Road episode, but what's funny is Dark Road was kind of the last game in the series, and it was one that I had like recently played when we recorded that. But this time we're talking about Chain of Memories, which is the first game I played in the series. All the way back when it released on the Game Boy Advance. I'm gonna pretend that Chain of Memories does not exist, which is probably for the better because that game sucks. So I've heard. I will confirm it myself soon because I did actually buy the first collection for PC. So I've been playing through Kingdom Hearts for the very first time for myself. So that's really exciting, and it's really nice to finally play the actual game. Because until now, I've only really played the side games. So that's fun. I always forget when Chain of Memories released here. I think it was like 2005 or 4.
I hear Kingdom beating me to the punch.
I am typing loudly. So, I mean, it doesn't list the Europe release date, but North America and Japan are both in 2004. So it's either
Europe is
early
2005.
Okay, so it's early May 2005.
Yeah. So I have vivid memories, and well, we'll get to everything about memories. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I have vivid memories of getting this game for Christmas. But it released in May, so I'm kind of like, was it really in May? Or either way, I got this when I was still a tiny kid who didn't speak a word of English. And my parents were like, "Oh, great, we can give our tiny child the most confusing game ever. He'll surely like it." So I actually got, and I do remember saying this, I got the limited edition Game Boy Advance SP with like the Kingdom Hearts logo on it and everything. Together with this game, and it was kind of my brother's game and my game at the same time because sharing it. But we were always stuck at a certain boss, and I think when I got the game, I was like 5 or 6, so I didn't speak English, so I had no idea what was going on, but I really liked the game anyway, and I didn't actually beat the game properly until I was 12 or 13. So it took me years and several like tries to finally get through the game. So it's kind of been this presence in my childhood, and a really beloved game that I do frequently still go back to. So I can't even count the amount of times that I've played through it. And it's funny because for most people it's their least favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Many people hate it in terms of gameplay, and I am such a big fan of it, and I love it so much. Kingdom, shut up. So, this is also it's funny that my first episode on this podcast was Kingdom Hearts, and the second one was Yorushka, because they are all linked by this game. When I first finished it, I heard Utada Hikaru's Simple and Clean for the first time. And well, back then I didn't have a smartphone yet, so I had this really shitty phone, and I would every time I wanted to listen to that song, I would just have to beat the final boss, and then I could listen once. So there were nights where I would just defeat the final boss like 6 times, just so I could listen to the song 6 times. And at one point, I voice recorded it onto my super old phone just so I could listen to it like on demand in really shitty quality.
That is so cool.
I want to share like a similar vibe with Simple and Clean, where I heard it for like the Kingdom Hearts 2 commercials that were playing on TV.
Yeah, you know what? I never saw those because those didn't air here. So every time I hear about Kingdom Hearts commercials, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was like a Saturday afternoon or something, and I remember seeing it on TV and being like, that shit like I was immediately just like obsessed with it, but only to the degree of the game looks really pretty and I really like this song. And then my mom from my cousin, because Napster was big back in that time, got the copy of the song on her computer and burned us little mix CDs. And so I used to listen to it on loop. And so I loved that song as well as Kingdom Hearts without ever touching it. And I didn't actually get to play Kingdom Hearts until like high school. So I was just enamored with it without touching it once.
That's
I also have some backstory with Chain of Memories myself. Plaquas, I feel like there's a lot of, there is inevitably going to be a lot of people in like the hyperfixation community who listen to this who have no idea about our 2 tirade about Kingdom Hearts theories and shit,
which is wild to me, but yeah.
Well. But growing up, I got Kingdom Hearts 1 and I played that and I loved it, whatever, cool, awesome. And then by the time I saw Chain of Memories commercials, I was like, those are all places in the commercials that I've been to in Kingdom Hearts 1. Sora looks the same. Oh, but it's on Game Boy. So it's probably just a port to the Game Boy, so I don't have to play it. It's not called 2, so it can't be a sequel. So for the longest time as a kid, I thought it was just a remake of Kingdom Hearts 1. So when we were going, later on, I obviously figured that out, especially when I got really into 365 over 2.
Ew.
I'll fight you. Hold on.
This is our eternal beef.
Yeah, so what we did, so anyone who hasn't been in like the long-term Moonshot and previously Orange Grove's community thing, you might not know about a show called Got It Memorized, where that's where I met Plaquas, and Plaquas got here, and we all like bounced off each other. But in that Discord, me and him would, before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, we would just make fucking theories about Kingdom Hearts 3 the entire time, and like pages and pages and pages about discussions that was basically just me and you.
Yeah.
And the best part about it was, you, correct me if I'm wrong, had never played 365 over 2 days.
No, I have seen like cutscenes like 4 or 5 times, and at one point I did play it because I bought it for my 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
One point, well, the DS game, but I played it on my 3DS. So at one point I did, but that was how it started. Yes.
Yeah. So I would have, because that's for the longest time was like my favorite story for a Kingdom Hearts game, and Plaquas had all of the information about Chain of Memories that I never played because I hate that game. And so we would just bounce ideas off of each other with context that I would have and you wouldn't, or you would have that I wouldn't, and it was a grand old time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great because that was, for me growing up, it was playing through Chain of Memories, I also didn't understand anything. I didn't even know it was like the second game in a series at first. It took me like 7 years to figure that one out. But like when I finally beat it, it was a magical moment. From that point onwards, I had like, I was still a child, but like I had grown up a bit and I had learned English. So in every playthrough that I did, I got better at the game. So I eventually could beat it. And I also learned more and more English, so I understood more and more of the story. And then it became really obvious that there was more to this than this one Game Boy game. So then I started like frantically watching all of the cutscenes. I have memories of failing high school math class because I was watching all Kingdom Hearts cutscenes movies. Just in
That's
class,
honestly a
without
mood.
the sound. I was that dedicated. Like, I need to watch this now, even though I can't listen. So. And then at one point, I did listen to a Kingdom Hearts podcast, which then very quickly died. And then I started listening to a Pokemon podcast, which Wheels was on, and Wheels eventually got it memorized. And I was a day one listener. And once Joe and Wheels got to Chain of Memories, I started really like interacting with them on Twitter, making memes and stuff, and filling in like gaps of knowledge, because from playing this game so often, you get a lot more like feel for it and understanding of it, both in terms of gameplay and story, than people who just watch the cutscenes or play through it once and hate it. So that's how I kind of grew as this sort of well-known figure in that tiny internet niche. And yeah, Got It Memorized eventually spawned like the Orange Groves Network, which then led to Moonshot, and it inspired like a lot of other podcasts, and all of that is kind of
shout out Standoff.
Shout out to Standoff. All of that is kind of the starting point of a lot of like the things that we as like this community are part of started with Got It Memorized, and it's like
oh shit,
incredible to have been like part of that throughout its entire run. And it was the highest honor to be on 2 episodes talking about the other mobile game for Got It Memorized.
The other one.
The other one. So
the one we don't talk about.
To just like go back one step really quick, I just had like a big realization of like, I don't think I would be here right now if it wasn't for Got It Memorized, because then that's how I got into Interstitial, and then that's how Hearts Against Balance happened, which led 3, 4, 5, 6 steps later to us recording today.
Yeah,
I think Interstitial didn't even exist without Got It Memorized, because that was really sort of a joint thing. Like Riley worked on that because they were part of like this Got It Memorized community. I think maybe they were already working on it, but it was finalized when they were part of that community. Of course, like the famous Interstitial podcast that Riley, Joe, and Wheels did was a sort of co-production of Got It Memorized and Riley Hopkins. So.
I know I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for that show, because from those same conversations with Plaquas on the Got It Memorized Discord, Kat was also there a lot. And then once Plaquas started watching JoJo's, we would just talk about JoJo's. We kind of, I feel bad looking back because I feel like we kind of ruined their anime channel just talking about JoJo's the whole time. And then Kat and I made Standoff, which is a separate podcast, but then editing from that brought me to editing for Roma on the Stony Grotto and all that stuff, Hearts Against, and that led to this.
I'm gonna laugh when I get a report from like Tony or Lewis that like for some reason Hearts Against listenership like skyrocketed for like a day when this releases.
I hope so.
That would be cool.
I hope so too.
The three of us to in the same place have lore, and you need to read up on your lore.
Yeah. No, but that's like all that is just the backstory of like I can say this for Kingdom and me at least, like our lives have been like literally changed
Mhm.
and have been influenced so much by Kingdom Hearts. And for me, that all started with Chain of Memories. I can't even imagine what would have happened if I wouldn't have stumbled across like Will's their podcasting career and got it memorized starting and my entire like social life and my hobbies would be so different, I think. So that's part of why this game means so much to me. It's not just like the childhood nostalgia, but it has like grown alongside me, and I've met like pretty much all of my online friends through it, and it's something that has such a special place in my heart because of that. So yeah.
God bless
Hell
Kingdom
yeah.
Hearts. God,
God
bless Chain of
bless-
Memories.
God bless Tetsuya Nomura
Let him live forever.
Our Lord and Savior.
and
Lord and
Daisuke
Savior
Watanabe and Utada Hikaru
Oh
and
yes,
all those people.
because like
Mhm.
without Chain of Memories, I probably wouldn't be like as much into like anime music, Japanese music in general, and by extension, I wouldn't be like learning Japanese and being into like anime like I am right now. So it's everything goes back to Chain of Memories pretty much. So yeah.
Oh my
The-
goodness.
The butterfly effect that is Sora being a good little guy.
Just a good little man with big feet. Huge feet.
Yeah, so
So-
what
yeah.
Kingdom said is true. I did only really play the side games, and at first only Chain of Memories. I think after that I played Recoded, which is also like an incredible game that everyone underrates. So I've kind of become the Kingdom Hearts side games person because, well, if you'd have asked me last week, I wouldn't have played Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, or 3, and now I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 1. But
Look
yeah,
at you go.
I played Birth by Sleep and then Recoded, and eventually I played Days. Mobile games, of course, I was a big fan of. Dream Drop Distance, although I didn't finish it because I don't really like the gameplay.
Yeah,
But I will.
that's like the one game that we agree on because
Same with
Chain of
Days,
Memories-
actually.
Well, hold on.
I didn't finish it.
No, Chain of Memories and Dream Drop are the two Kingdom Hearts games that I have started and never finished. Chain of Memories, I gave up on several times very early on. Dream Drop, I gave up on when I was in like the last world. I just could not deal with
Same.
it anymore.
Yeah. But like
yeah,
Kingdom, did you ever play the Game Boy version or only
no, only Rechain.
Yeah, okay.
Because I have not known where my Game Boy has been for at least a decade.
Yeah, so that's kind of the general consensus that gameplay does not translate to the remake well at all.
For audience who might not know anything about Kingdom Hearts at all, why is Chain of Memories divisive? How would you describe it?
I'm also curious about this.
It's it has like a unique gameplay system. So instead of like you can just spam your regular hit button to smash with your keyblade and have certain keys for some magic. This game works with a deck, so you literally have cards. This entire game is ruled by cards. Everything about it is about cards. So with the gameplay, it's deck building, and what I think is the people that grasp the deck building really well enjoy the hell out of this game because there's like a lot of strategic like thinking you can do before you make a deck and before certain bosses, because certain decks work better on certain bosses, and there's like different combos you can make with cards. I think the people that see this as a separate game from the rest of the Kingdom Hearts series in terms of gameplay, and who sort of dedicate their time into learning about this system, they enjoy it. But the people that just want a Kingdom Hearts game don't enjoy it because it's so different. And if you don't like really consciously make your deck and use your deck in the ways that this game specifically intends, and you try to sort of go for your regular strategy that you would use in other Kingdom Hearts games, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. And as far as I know, it was originally supposed to, like, Tetsuya Nomura was designing it to be the same gameplay-wise as Kingdom Hearts 1, but I don't remember specifically, it was either Disney execs or Square Enix execs or someone there was like, no, this is going to be a mobile game. You have to do something different. And he's like, okay,
yeah,
card game.
I think it was also something to do with the hardware limitations of not being able to make like a full 3D game in the in the Game Boy Advance, and then also realizing that if you cannot make it 3D, the gameplay doesn't work. And
I think that was one of the things, like, before he redesigned it, they were like, no, this isn't going to be a console game. This is going to be a Game Boy game. We have to reach a bigger audience.
Yeah, and the problem is that with the remake, which is the game that most people who played Kingdom Hearts 1 played because it's on the same system, they really missed the mark with translating the gameplay to 3D. From what I've seen, is that it just really doesn't work, and the things like the battle arenas are like really designed to work well with this card system and with your sort of different moves that you can do. And with the remake, they really kind of just grabbed all the cards and were like, okay, we're putting the cards in the traditional Kingdom Hearts gameplay. We're done. and that doesn't work. So I think that doesn't help. That the bad version is also the version that most people played. So.
And that's literally what they did too. It is the exact same engine as Kingdom Hearts 1, and they just put the cards in.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah.
But I guess, in theory, closer to how it was originally supposed to be, but like half of each way, which does not work.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem. But yeah.
I mean,
what do you want to learn about Roma? Do you want to get into the story? Do you want like a long summary or like a really condensed summary so we can like rant more about the gameplay? Or
Roma, what's your story with Chain of Memories specifically? Do you know it? Have you played it?
So with a small preface, kind of touching base on previous points. So as we were playing Hearts Against Balance, Lewis and Tony were both like, you should listen to Got It Memorized, because they would go on these long tangents about Kingdom Hearts, and I would be like, all of this means nothing to me. I know that Sora has big feet and he hangs out with a duck and a dog and everything. It happens. Stuff happens. But I didn't even realize that, stuff about Roxas. Like, I thought Roxas was just a guy that we got to be for a little bit. And then we weren't him anymore, and he went back to school after summer ended. So
the good ending.
And so I started listening to Got It Memorized, and I think I got all the way up to Kingdom Hearts no, I don't remember. I got into Birth by Sleep, and then at that point I was in my version of a divorce, so it just died for me. But I learned a good chunk about Kingdom Hearts, but I still don't understand it. And so there was a lot I heard about Chain of Memories, and there's some that I've understood. Like I've watched Plaquas stream it, and I've seen some of the gameplay, but all I can tell you that I understand is that Sora is in the Castle Oblivion, and he's fighting his way through, and he fights a few people, and then we do once more, same as before, with not Riku.
No, it is Riku.
It is Riku.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is that I don't entirely remember anything outside of that bare bones understanding, and so I'm open to doing like. Maybe we could do like the short form until we get to something that needs longer form. And then we can talk about like maybe, I'm down for like a messy, like we're just running through it because we're excited, or if we want to try to keep it organized. But I think I just kind of want to get a general understanding of like, why the fuck was he there in the first place?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how did he show up there? Did he just like wake up and say, I'm in a stranger's house and I'm concerned?
He got kidnapped, I'm pretty sure, but
yeah, was he kidnapped?
yeah, kinda.
Did Luxor design this one, and that's why there's cards?
It's my headcanon, but no. But it's my headcanon.
But he is not in this game.
Well, we kind of don't know. no,
the
just
card.
kidding. We know he didn't.
Do we know why it's cards specifically?
No.
It must be Luxor then. That's the only explanation.
So the thing is, I'm okay. What my plan for now is first of all, I'm gonna present you with like what happens to Sora story wise, and then I think afterwards I will explain how and why it happened, and yeah, that.
Okay.
I think that's a good one. So I think it's funny that you don't really know a lot about Kingdom Hearts, and that it's all kind of fuzzy, because that's literally what this game is about. Basically, Sora just goes through Kingdom Hearts 1 again, but also he forgets everything. So as for how we start, it starts off quite literally like the second after Kingdom Hearts 1 ends, because it ends with Sora, Donald and Goofy, I guess, to Riku and Mickey Mouse, otherwise known as King Mickey.
King Mickey.
Closing
Michael Mouse.
Michael. They close the door to darkness, and Riku and Mickey close it from the darkness's side, so they are kind of locked inside the realm of darkness. And Sora and Co. The Goof Troop, I should say, in reference
Goof Troop
to got it memorized. They are in the realm of light, locking it, because you have to lock it from both sides. So they they finally found each other, Riku and Sora, and made up. And then it was like, okay, we have to sort of be separated again, and we don't know when we'll see each other again, and we don't know how we will find each other again. But like, Sora promises to Riku to take care of Kairi, and that's kind of the door closes and the end credits roll. And
they literally walk into the sunset at that point.
Yeah. And
it's the secret ending.
Yeah, and are they then in these like weird hills with this like path too?
It's like a classic Disney scene where it's like rolling green hills with a weird path that seems to go on forever.
Yeah.
But it's like a very peaceful scene, but the whole time there's very spooky music.
So that's where Chain of Memories starts. We see them walking in these hills. And then they suddenly see Pluto with a letter in his mouth. And last time they saw that was in Trevor's Town in Kingdom Hearts 1 when he had a letter from the king, I think. Or that was still in Mickey's castle, I think. For Donald and Goofy, he had a letter. But so they look at each other and they are like, "Oh my god, we're gonna follow Pluto." So they run after him, and then it cuts to nighttime, and I think Donald and Goofy are sleeping or something, or
they're either sleeping or they disappeared.
Yeah,
it's like a nightmare.
Sora just ran ahead or something, and then suddenly there's this like floating cloaked figure in front of Sora who's like, ahead lies something you seek, but to find it you must lose something dear to you.
Bruh.
And Sora's like, what the fuck? And he looks around, and then sort of in front of him he finds Castle Oblivion, because I think the figure is standing on top of a hill, and he teleports behind him or something, and a lot of funky stuff is happening, and Sora's kind of confused. So he runs towards the figure who then just disappeared, and in front of him is Castle Oblivion. And they just walk in, Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and they are like, this is a weird castle, huh? And then they sort of all come to the conclusion, including Jiminy, that they all felt like King Mickey was there. And Riku too, I guess.
I'm going to link a picture of Castle Oblivion in the Discord, just so people know that it looks goofy as hell.
Yeah, it's funky. And there's reasons to why, but we'll get there after the short summary. So they are like, we should proceed in this castle because we all think King Mickey is here and Riku is here. And I think Donald is kind of like, isn't this kind of sus that we all think this? Isn't something funny going on? And Sora is kind of like, well, who cares? We have to see. And then Goofy is like, well, we should close the door behind us. And then suddenly behind them, this same robed figure is there again. And this figure explains that it's Castle Oblivion and that they will find someone who's dear to them. So Sora's immediately like, so Riku is here. But he also explains that to get it, you need to lose something. So he says, to gain is to lose, and to lose is to gain. Such is the way of Castle Oblivion. And then he kind of makes a card from Sora's memory, which is a card of Traverse Town. And Sora has to use this card on the door to go to the first floor, and then he is suddenly in Traverse Town. But the people he meets there, like the Final Fantasy characters, Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, they don't remember him. They are like, who are you? But then they are like, oh, we have never met before, Sora. And then they are all confused, like, how do they know our names, though? So it's like they don't have memories of knowing each other, but they do have a sense of familiarity, and they do sort of instinctively say each other's names. So it goes to show that some kind of memory fuckery is going on. So Sora is kind of warned, by Aerith, don't, we are all made by your memory, so we are kind of your subconscious talking to you, but also we are real, so there's some weird stuff going on, and don't blindly trust your memories. That's kind of the first foreshadowy warning you get that something is going up with Sora's memory, with these memory worlds.
And everything in Castle Oblivion that Sora sees is built off of how, his direct memories of how they were.
Yeah.
So that's why you go to past worlds, because Sora was there, so he remembers them. So it's built off his memories and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fun thing is that the gameplay sort of, it's like a big maze of a castle, but the walls of the castle and the floors of the castle sort of change for each floor for each world. So they are Sora's memories projected onto the castle rooms, kind of. And you sort of have your own. When you beat Heartless, you get these map cards. So when you go to the next room, you have to use a certain map card with a number. We'll not get into it, but you can sort of choose the room yourself from the cards that you have from enemies. So one room will give you just a treasure chest and no enemies. Or another room will give you a lot of enemies. So you can sort of choose how you want to go through the game, which is really fun. And then there are certain doors that you have to go to, and those are sort of the story doors. So when you open those doors with the special cards you get a bit of the story from that world. So in Traverse Town, you first meet Leon for the first door, and then with the second, you meet Aerith and Yuffie in the hotel, like in Kingdom Hearts 1. And then the third room is always the final boss. So, and then the door opens to go back to a Castle Oblivion hallway. And there we meet Axel for the first time after Traverse Town.
Axel!
And in this game, he
Axel!
doesn't actually say "got it memorized." He says "committed to memory." So they retconned it in the remake, but
They were still working on it.
yeah, they were still cooking.
It was in the oven.
So Axel is kind of like, so the robed figure from before is also here, and he sort of wants to fight Sora or something, but then Axel is like, "Oh no, let me play with him," or something like that. Let me test him. And this is the introduction of Organization 13. So, people who skip this game because they think it's just a remake, like Kingdom, they will go to Kingdom Hearts 2 and they will be like, "Who the fuck are these organization members? And why are half of them missing?" And
but even if you were to skip this game, I mean, spoilers, but after the end of this game, Sora's memory gets wiped of all this shit anyway, so it still kind of works.
Yeah, which is like this sort of, I find that like kind of genius in a way.
It's genius and tragic and convenient.
Because I think that Nomura was literally also told for the start of this game that they had to sort of establish why Sora was why Sora didn't have all of his abilities from the last game. Like why he wouldn't be super overpowered from beating all the
why is he
every
level 1
darkness
again?
stuff.
They have to Metroid him.
And that's how he kind of came up with the memory stuff. So he just forgot, literally.
My favorite way that they've done that to Sora is beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3, when he's like, "I feel weak."
So, yeah, we meet Axel, and he fights Sora to kind of test him. And what they establish is that during this battle, Axel sort of digs into his memory and gives him 5 new world cards, which are Disney worlds where you go to. And people often sort of say like, "Oh, this game sucks because it's just Kingdom Hearts 1 all over again, and the Disney worlds are just the same." And they are kind of right, but also what I think is really interesting about this game is how they really put the theme of memories into it, and they give like heavy foreshadowing for everything that's gonna happen. And you kind of, as you're playing the game, you know that something is up with this.
I think Chain of Memories and Birth by Sleep are tied in the best of the series to actually like set things up that actually get paid off.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, but like I really like the Disney worlds because they match the memory theme. So, for example, in Wonderland, it's not like, oh, that the queen is like, "Oh, Alice, you stole my heart. You will be punished for this." But it's like, "Oh, you stole my memories," you know. And then they sort of trick the queen in the end that the queen sort of commanded them to get rid of the Heartless so that they helped her. And then she's like, she's so prideful that she won't admit that she doesn't remember that, or that they are lying to her. But she's like, "Oh yeah,
gaslit her."
They literally gaslit her, but they use like the actual human psychology thing that if someone gaslights you, you don't want to admit that didn't happen, right? You want to go along to sort of save your own pride or something. So it's really interesting how they do that. And later on in Halloween Town, there's a quote that is so dear to my heart that I always remember. It's fear and insecurities are the signs of a strong heart. So it's like you shouldn't be. It's not you shouldn't be afraid, but it's like you shouldn't be afraid of being afraid, because being afraid means that you have a strong heart. So I love that. But they in Halloween Town, they make this potion that's like reveals your true memories, the deepest memories lying in your heart. And when they give them to, well, Oogie Boogie steals the potion and drinks it, he goes insane, and that's your boss battle.
Oh my god.
And that also ties into the theme, like the chain of memories is really important, because what they establish is that your memories are literally a chain. So when you forget something, it's just the links breaking, and sort of the chain falls to the bottom of your heart, so where it's out of reach, but it's still there. Your memories are still there, they are just out of reach because they are unlinked, unchained. Oh no, wait, that's a different Kingdom Hearts game.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So, as Sora progresses through these floors, he suddenly meets Riku. So he's like, "Oh my god, Riku, you are here! We finally found you and shit." And Riku is like, "Shut up, loser! Get out of here! We don't want you here."
I was gonna jokingly say he's like, "Die, loser," but that's
Yeah,
actually
that's
what he
literally
does.
what happens. So you're like, "What happened here? What's going on?"
Hey, yo.
But Riku is sort of like, "Oh, you don't even remember the promise you made and stuff like that." So, and as they are progressing through, you meet like this Riku and you fight, and you also notice that you start to forget things. So Goofy is like, "Wow, this castle is so weird. It kind of reminds me of this other castle where we went. What was it called? Ha. And they can't remember Hollow Bastion. And they are kind of like, "Oh well, we are forgetting things, but we're remembering things too." And Sora starts to remember that there was another girl on the island. It was Kairi, Riku, Sora, and someone else, but he doesn't quite remember.
And it's not that Final Fantasy girl that I forget her name of. She's not
Selfie.
real.
She does not
Selfie.
exist.
She doesn't exist. It's another one. It's a different one.
So that kind of sets up like, oh yeah, they are losing memories, but they are also sort of remembering something that Sora forgot a long time ago. Then we meet Larxene, and she's a bitch to Sora, like always.
But like in the coolest way.
In the coolest way. Predictable response.
Bruh.
That's an ancient, like, got it memorized joke too, but I think I've had it saved on my phone as a reaction image like for all this time. But
oh my god,
Larxene's the peak of she's awful. I love her.
Larxene is like girl boss, Gaslight, and the other one that I always forget.
Can I share something real quick?
Yes, please.
So when I cut my hair kind of short, like it's like halfway down my neck now, but when I get out of the shower, I comb it backwards, and so it's all slicked back and wet.
The Larxene cut.
Yeah, Tony's looked at me. He's like, "You've got the knife pervert haircut." I'm like, and the thing is that doesn't help is that I've had a long history with like working in kitchens, and I have this particular thing about my kitchen knives. Like I like them to be a particular sharpness. I like to take care of them. They have to be handled a certain way, and so in combination with this, there was a YouTube video where this guy was like, "You only need 3 kitchen knives. Like all these other knives are bullshit." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "No, they have a purpose. One is for fish, one is for vegetables, one is for this and fruit." And Tony's just like, "You're not helping your knife pervert case." And so I think me and Larxene have something in common here.
Yeah.
But I'm not rude.
I love Larxene. She's great, but she's also like very mean to Sora. She's like, "Oh, the poor girl, how she will cry if she hears you don't even remember her." And Sora gets like really upset, and he gets angry, and that's like really interesting because Sora is this like bright, cheerful, maybe sometimes a bit sad person, but he never like lashes out, and he's never angry, except in this game. Like he gets pushed to his limit, or it's like the memory fuckery that kind of makes him angry to a point that it's like uncharacteristic. That like some shit is up.
Honestly, if I was in a dangerous fight or flight situation and I didn't know what's going on, I think I would also be uncharacteristically like shitty, you know what I mean? Or like stressed. So though that tracks in my opinion.
I found this image that I liked a lot, so I linked it in the Discord as well. Join the Discord, listener.
That's not the one I made, but I actually made a version of this as like a got it memorized meme. But like she's really mean to him, and she's like, "Oh, she will be so sad. You don't even remember her name," and stuff like that. And Sora gets upset, but as like Larxene is sort of attacking him, he drops this good luck charm that he has that Kyrie gave to him, except it looks different now. It's a yellow star, and he's like, oh, it's the lucky charm that she gave me. And I'm not sure if this is the point where he remembers her name or like a little bit later, but it doesn't really matter. But I think he remembers her name here. He's like, Namine. So he's like, that's right. She gave me this good luck charm when there was a meteor shower, and I promised her I'd always take care of her, or something like that.
Uh-oh.
And then Larxene, of course, did some card fuckery to give him new cards. And we go to more worlds. We get Riku more, and Riku is like, Namine doesn't even want to see you, and why are you here? You were supposed to take care of Kyrie. And there's this thing in his memories where it's like, oh well, if there was another girl, why didn't we see her in Kingdom Hearts 1 or something like that? And Donald and Goofy are like, isn't it strange that you never mentioned her before? And he's like, no, she moved away like a long time ago.
She's from Canada. You wouldn't know her. She's my girlfriend. She lives in Canada. She goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibes. But then Riku is like, oh, don't you remember why she left? She left because of you, or something like that. He gets like super angry, and he's like, just go back to Kyrie and leave us alone. So Riku is very upset, and slowly, sort of, Sora starts to forget Kyrie. So first it was Namine as an extra girl, and then it sort of becomes like, right, it was always the three of us. Me, Riku, and Namine. So he's forgetting Kyrie, even though they always like say in this game, like, oh no, you can't forget like your important friends and promises. We will just forget the like silly things. And so
my
Sora
most important friend.
Yeah, Namine, my most important friend, who I didn't know up until like an hour ago. And Riku is very much like, no, fuck you, and Sora gets more and more upset, and at one point Donald is like, this castle is really getting to you, Sora. This is like some fucked up shit happening. Maybe we should go back. And then Sora like gets super upset, and he's kind of like, well, you just go back. I'll go on without you. I don't need you anyway. So then he sort of rushes off alone, and Donald and Goofy are like, no, wait, that's not what we meant. But Sora's already gone, so.
I always kind of interpreted like Sora is uncharacteristically pissed off all the time in this game. And it's also because this game takes place during the first like 10 or so days of 358/2.
Yeah.
Which would be the same time Roxas is around. So like Roxas is constantly passing out and stuff. So I feel like there might be some connection between Sora and Roxas, that they exist at the same time for the first time. And Roxas is a little piss boy sometimes.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that's definitely a fair reading, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Got it theorized.
Got it theorized, baby. So once we get through this like second set of Disney worlds, we meet Vexen, another member of Organization 13. And he's always like about like his experiments, and he's like, oh, weren't you happy to see my Riku? And then Sora's like, what the hell did you do to him? And they fight, and Vexen is like, well, if you want answers, I can give them to you, blah, blah, blah. Here is another card. And you get a card to a world, but it's one we haven't seen before. And he says it's from the other side of his memories.
Yeah.
And it's Twilight Town. And at this point, we don't know about the existence of Roxas yet, because that's like a game later. So
yeah, the 358/2 comes out like a year after this game comes out. So we have never seen Roxas as a community.
Didn't Kingdom Hearts 2 come out before?
Yes, I was thinking that game instead.
Yeah.
You are correct. That game comes out like a year later.
Yeah. So
I've
we
never
don't
played
know
Kingdom
about
Hearts 2, I wouldn't
Roxas.
know.
We have never seen Twilight Town before, and yet here it is in the game that's all about Sora's memories and places he's visited before. So it's like, what is this place? And Sora is also again like he says it seems familiar. I think like he kind of has the feeling that he has been there before, but he definitely hasn't. So it's weird. And they meet Vexen again there, and Vexen is kind of spilling the beans about like the organization's plans and stuff.
You have such strength, even at the mercy of your memory.
None of that matters. Just put Riku back.
Just put him back? The Riku you speak of has but one fate, to sink into the darkness. And you will share that fate, Sora. If you continue to seek the girl Naminé, the shackles will tighten. You'll lose your heart and end up becoming Marluxia's pawn.
Marluxia? What does Naminé have to do with... Ugh.
But then Axel suddenly hops in and he's like, shut the fuck up, loser. He snips his finger and like...
Axel!
Yo, Sora. Did I catch you at a bad time?
burns Vexen alive. Like,
Axel fucking shows up, stop talking to him, die, dead.
yeah, like literally. I'm
Axel kills a man on screen.
Axel, why?
I came to stop you from talking too much by eliminating your existence.
We didn't need him. It's fine.
I mean, we don't need this version of him.
No, don't do it.
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody. You're off the hook.
It's
So-
fine.
I'm gonna put the link to that scene in the chat so you can watch it later.
That was the scene that was like, oh, Chain of Memories is cool, actually.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
yeah.
They always call Axel the assassin, and
Yeah.
he gets, because I had the context of him leaving for a while to go to Castle Oblivion during 358, but I didn't really get what he was doing. He was just straight up killing people.
Yep.
No, please don't. I don't want to.
Goodbye.
So
Goated.
in the meantime, we sometimes see like scenes of Marluxia, who is kind of the boss of this castle, gaslighting Naminé and telling her like, "Oh, do this to Sora," or "Do you want to be alone forever?" or something like that. And we also see Larxene, Axel, and Marluxia sort of plotting something. They want to take over the organization and sort of make Sora into their puppet to help them take over the organization. And then Vexen appears and he's like, "Oh, I want to do an experiment." And then they are like, "Yeah, sure, Vexen, go ahead." But then Marluxia sort of tells Axel to kill the traitors or something. So Axel is like, "Are you sure about that?" And then Marluxia is, "Yeah, kill the traitors." And then Axel is like, "Okay, your orders." And then he kills Vexen because Vexen wants to sort of betray Marluxia by telling Sora what's happening.
Okay.
So I think at this point after Twilight Town you meet Riku again, you fight, and because Riku sort of shows you his good luck charm, and it's the exact same that you have. And he's like, "Yeah, one night on a meteor shower, I promised Naminé to protect her." And Sora's like, "What the fuck? That's my memory. What are you talking about?"
No, I did that.
So you kind of know that some shit is up with Riku as well. But then you beat him, he drops his good luck charm and runs away. And then his good luck charm turns into the card for Destiny Island. And
Ayo.
at this point, Sora lashes out to Donald and Goofy to a point where he leaves without them. So you play the next world without them. And while you are in Destiny Island and you sort of... I think... Yeah, in Destiny Island, I think there was a flash of Naminé before showing Sora like... kind of hinting towards Sora that he has to remember Kairi, but she's very faint, and then he goes on his own to Destiny Island, and Destiny Island's all the NPCs, so like Selfie, Waka, and Tidus, are like, oh, are you going to her? They're really like, oh, is it a date? They keep on mentioning like her without
Shitty
saying
children.
like who, and we as an audience know that it's probably supposed to be Kairi, but Sora of course thinks it's Naminé. So you fight the final boss, and then you go to the next floor, and Riku is there again, and you fight again, and when you beat him, he just stands up and he's like, it's over, Sora, and he wants to like kill you, strike you down, and then suddenly there's like a flash on his forehead and he falls down to the floor. And you're like, and then Naminé appears behind him. I said stop, yeah. What Kingdom sent in the chat.
I had the GIF ready.
Cause like Axel sets Naminé free. He's like, well, shouldn't you save Sora or something like that? And then he's like, this is starting to get interesting. Because it's kind of clear that Axel has his own plans.
Yeah. Oof.
So Naminé kind of kills Riku, and Sora's like, what did you do to him?
Naminé kills Riku.
Yeah, literally.
You're so right.
And it's very funny because Sora's like, what did you do to him? And Naminé's like, I broke his heart or something like that.
Yeah.
But then like... I'm not sure if at this point it was revealed that Riku was like a replica experiment by Vexen, who got the memories of the real Riku from Naminé's memory powers, because it is revealed that the castle doesn't have weird memory fuckery, but it's Naminé doing it. She is manipulating Sora, so Sora becomes a puppet for Marluxia.
Gasp.
And Axel kind of stopped this by setting Naminé free and telling her to save Sora. And I think Naminé goes to tend to Riku, and I think Larxene appears here and fights Sora, and then at that second, like, Donald and Goofy arrive and help him. Something like that. This is a little bit vague to me because it's been a few years since I played this game and I didn't really research it properly. But they are back and they defeat Larxene, and I think they kill Larxene because she fades into like this black smoke, which is kind of like, oh, the organization member dying.
I think we're like fully in spoiler town, so I'm just gonna go off with some more spoilers from future games, like 3. Larxene, both times we've seen her die, has had very horrific deaths, and I don't know why. She does the whole like, it's so cold kind of thing, and I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
bro.
But like
this girl's dying
in Kingdom Hearts 3, because Larxene somebody is part of the other mobile game, the one that we didn't cover. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, with the context that she is in those games, it seemingly like she remembers that as she is dying in Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's like, oh god.
And her and Marluxia, somebody are brother and sister, right? Was that it?
No, they are.
Who was it?
So Marluxia has a sister that's Strelitzia, and
oh yeah.
Elrina is like best friends with Strelitzia.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And
I remember Marluxia had a sister.
At some point, Strelitzia is gone, and then sort of Marluxia and Larxene bond over trying to find her, I guess.
Strelitzia is gone. She disappeared.
To Kingdom Hearts 4.
She didn't get lured into an alleyway and murdered.
I mean, she's in the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, so
Yeah, in the afterlife.
Oh. Yeah, she got killed by Ventus, but don't worry about the details.
It's fine.
Ventus
fine.
lured her into an alleyway and stabbed her to death, but
Ven-
she's okay now.
Ventus, the best boy.
Ventus, the pure of heart little guy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Anyway,
Is he?
yeah. Ventus is like a 1,000 years old or something. Who knows? Anyway,
Just forget about it, Roma.
he's technically not in this game, even though this game takes place inside of him. Don't worry about it.
What?
He's technically in this game because he is somewhere in Castle Oblivion. We just don't know it yet.
Should we mention that now? Because it's not going to come up in this game.
We'll save it for later.
Okay.
Anyway, Larxene dies. And Namine stays behind to sort of tend to replica Riku, or as we have affectionately called him, Repliku.
What a good nickname.
So Sora and Donald and Goofy go on. They go to the final world, which is Castle Oblivion. So it's now that they know that there's memory fuckery, they no longer have like a card that projects their memories onto the castle. It's just the castle itself. And at the end of this world, you are in another room and Axel is there. And Axel is kind of fighting Marluxia. And Axel is like, you told me to get rid of the traitors. But you and Larxene are betraying the organization. So I'm getting rid of you.
Both sides of the organization have told him to get rid of the other side.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Yeah. And he kind of does his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. So, and Marluxia is like, oh, did you hear that, Sora? Or something like that. Because he sort of twists Axel's words or sort of forces him to say, no, wait, I think Marluxia has... I think Marluxia is Axel is somehow saying that he's going to hurt Namine or something because Marluxia kind of tricked him into saying that, and then he's like, oh, did you hear that, Sora? And then Sora has to fight Axel because Sora promised to protect Namine. So he kills Axel, but not really because Axel teleports away, I guess. And then Repliku is suddenly here. Maybe Repliku stopped Axel, but like Repliku is back and no, I think he stopped Marluxia, and Marluxia is like, how the hell are you here? You're supposed to be just like a broken shell now that Namine has broken your heart or something. And Repliku is like, well, I promised to protect her, and it might be like a fake promise and fake memories, but it's still a promise. And my feelings are real or something like that. So basically through sheer power of friendship, even though he doesn't exist and he has no friendship, he is here to help, kind of.
Aww.
So that's super cool. So that's why he's one of my favorite characters. And then Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight Marluxia, and they win. Psych, it was just a copy of Marluxia that Marluxia can apparently make, because he is waiting in the boss room.
Yo.
So you go to that boss room, and he is riding this giant nobody mech kind of thing. We just talked about Strelitzia. Common theory now is that Strelitzia's nobody, which is extremely fucked up, but
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There are like similar themes in the design for Strelitzia and this nobody thing. So
and I guess she owns Keyblade armor situation. They're all a little mixed up there, but
yeah,
that's probably nothing.
And especially in the remakes, there's like an additional form to Marluxia's boss battle, and it like I'm gonna post a picture in Discord. It just very much looks like a girl in a white coat, who is sort of.
It is simply his stand,
fighting
and
with
there's
him.
There's nothing more to read into.
It's simply his stand and or his sister.
or his dead sister.
But of course, Sora kind of kills him, and as he does in this game. And then it's kind of like the fucked up part where they ask Namine, like, can you fix our memories? Because you messed it up big time. And Sora gets the choice to remember all his memories of his past, but then he will have to forget everything that happened in his castle. Or he will remember everything in his castle, but never get those memories back. And the memories are still there, but he just won't remember them. So he obviously chooses to have his memory repaired. And he has to go in a sleepy pod for that. Just take a little nap while Namine fixes things. It's going to be over in no time at all. Don't worry about it, except... and this is where I will spoil like Kingdom Hearts 2, I guess. Because Roxas is there, and Xion too, at that point, they kind of act as sponges for Kingdom Hearts. for Sora's memories. And that's why not all the pieces are in Sora anymore, so Namine can't really fix him before Xion and Roxas return to him, which is what kind of Kingdom Hearts 2 and mostly 358/2 days are about. And that's the end of the game. But wait, there's more!
Wait!
You know how Riku was in this castle, but it wasn't actually Riku? Actually, Riku is here too.
Riku's also in the castle. He's been here the whole time.
But he's in the basement. And he also got lured here, but by a character named Diz, who we all hate, who is sort of disguised as Ansem. And the thing is, Riku is also going through his memory worlds and stuff. But for him, it's that he has to face his darkness. So his memory worlds are entirely empty. There are no like NPCs in there because his heart is full of darkness. And for him, the story is about sort of regaining his strength over the darkness and setting himself free from Ansem, who still has like a little bit of power over his heart. So he meets Vexen, who then fights him and makes a copy out of him. And then he fights Repliku, but Repliku knows that it's a replica. So that's like a weird thing where Repliku wants to be stronger than Riku by accepting the darkness.
Riku's whole story in this game is a genuinely very good like story about learning to live with your trauma.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't define you, but you can also never get rid of it, but you can live with it and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Very, very good. And surprisingly came out of a Kingdom Hearts Game Boy game.
Yeah. It's incredible because it's Riku is they portray it as you're so afraid of the darkness, but I don't know if that's true. Probably a little bit because of trauma, but also he just doesn't want to be this like figure of evil darkness that he wants to be with his friend Sora, who is like this guardian of light. And this game is about him finding that the darkness that is in his heart is under his control, that he is in charge of it. It's his darkness. It's not evil Ansem darkness. And he can use that. And he can be strong with the darkness. He doesn't have to fight the darkness, but he doesn't sort of give himself into darkness either. He can use it for good. Which makes him one of the most powerful Kingdom Hearts characters later down the line. But
yeah.
So he also meets the rest of the organization. So we got Vexen, of course, because there's like a basement team and an upper castle team, which is like really weird. But yes, it's Riku versus Riku.
Start linking pictures now that we're in full
I'm me, he
replica
says.
Riku and normal Riku. I'm me, he says. We can finally get to the funnies.
Replica is
Romi, you
like
still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was muted for as long as I was.
Okay, I was confused
I
why you were
was
so
saying
quiet.
words. I was saying things, and it sounded like y'all responded to me, so I just went with it. And then I look over and I go, "Oh, oops, my bad."
Oops.
But yeah, have we gotten to the part about smelling darkness yet?
yes,
Actively, yeah.
Riku.
Yes.
Riku can smell darkness. That's just kind of his thing.
I want to
He's
know what
like
it
the
smells
media-
like.
Not only can he smell it, he can determine different flavors of
Yeah.
darkness through his
Shit.
scent.
Do you think he could find the bathroom like that?
That's some wild darkness coming from that corridor. Who was in there?
And then, like,
Zemnis?
Zemnis walks out, and there's like a flush.
It's interesting because we see like the other Castle Oblivion organization members, Lexeus, Zexion, and Vexen talking, and they once Riku appears in the castle, in the basement, they are like, wait, there's a different smell rather than Sora. So they can also smell like his darkness, but they say he really smells like their superior.
The
Like
whole smell thing is so
Zemnis.
strange because when I first saw it, like when I first heard of it through Gotta Memorize and everything, I assumed it was just a weird translation thing, right? Because they never bring it up ever again or anything, and it was a Game Boy game. But they physically like turn their nose up and start sniffing. They're smelling that shit.
Whiff.
So
It's so strange.
it's really strange, but also it's interesting that he smells like Demnus in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he fights Lexeus at one point. Well, he fights his replica a few times, and his replica's like, I'm gonna be better than you. And then we kind of get more context for the scenes that we see. So we see Vexen with Larxene and Marluxia and Axel being like, oh, I have this new toy or something. But now we see the rest of the scene where it's sort of Larxene's idea to give him Riku's real memories. And Replica like yells and actively is like so against that idea because his existence is kind of being wiped and he is made into like Riku too, basically. And it's like a horrifying scene where he's sort of gets his memory wiped because for Sora it's like very gradually, so I can imagine that Sora doesn't notice it, but like we see at the end how like breaking Replica's heart like instantly makes him fall to the floor because he's pretty much dead at that point. Like imagine how painful it is to have your entire memories like changed in one instance, like
Especially when he is a doll that is basically created entirely off of the memories that were put in him, and all of those just get bonked.
Bro, poor baby.
Yeah. And then
Really is.
chronologically speaking, that's when like the replica first goes to Sora. And after all this, Axel still like takes replica to Riku, I guess, but before that he meets Lexeus, who is another member of Organization 13, and Lexeus, as he like is struck down by Riku, he sort of throws a giant like darkness blast at Riku, and at that point sort of Riku feels like the darkness getting hold of him, and he gets saved by a hologram of Mickey Mouse, I guess. And he's like, don't worry, Riku, I'm on my way. I think I skipped one part where Ansem is here, like Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and he reawakens his sort of influence of darkness he has over Riku's heart. And from that point on, gameplay-wise, you can enter like Riku's dark mode with his like hula skirt and purple bodysuit outfit.
Nice.
It's the same. It's like it's not actually Seeker of Darkness, but it's the same way Sora does. Like, it's his memories of not only Ansem, but who he used to be, kind of.
Kind of, but it also kind of literally is the Ansem that is still in his heart. So
Kingdom Hearts is stupid. But
it's confusing, but
it figuratively it is his trauma following him.
Yeah,
and that's all we have to worry about.
Yeah. So then after this, we get Zexion, who is on Destiny Island, and he sort of disguised himself as Sora, and he is fighting Riku because he's like, I have to kill you because you are a being of darkness now, and you're evil now. And he gets hit by this beam of light, and then Riku is stuck in the light, and I think he gets saved by Namine, who says like that it's not real or something like that, or that it's his darkness, that no one else, that it's his heart and his darkness, and no one else can sort of tell him what to do with it because it's his own. He can decide, and that's when he breaks free from it and sort of kills the fake Sora, which is Zexion. And Zexion is like, "How did you know? It was me." And then Riku is like, "Because you smell like shit."
Get fucked.
And that's really cool. And then at that point, Riku is like super confident with his like darkness and how he can really do this. I think he gets saved by Mickey Mouse actually, because he's now actually here, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Riku's dad shows up.
Yeah. So Riku is like super happy because he's like, all this time I've been wandering through darkness and there was no one here. And he finally has another actual person with him. So he kind of, that's a super emotional moment.
Aww.
And then Riku also gets a choice by Namine, because Riku walks up to like the sleepy pots where Sora is, and he's like, typical Sora, taking a nap with the easy route and making me fix things or something like that, which is kind of cute. Riku gets the choice by Namine. She's like, since she has power over memories and basically hearts too of Sora and people closely connected to him, she can also control Riku's memories. So she can lock away the tiny Ansem darkness he has in his heart forever. So it's there but locked away out of reach. Or he has to face Ansem to just fight him, basically. And Riku is like, I have to get over this. I can't take the easy way like Sora who's sleeping. So King Mickey is like, I'm here to help you. We can do this together. We are friends or something like that. Then Riku fights actual Ansem. And then I think before that it's revealed that the Ansem that he was talking to before was actually this in disguise. And Riku was like, yeah, I figured from the smell.
The Ansem that he was talking to before wasn't actually Ansem, but it was the real Ansem.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
But then there's also Ansem, Seeker of Darkness in his heart, who he fights. I'm sorry, this is all super confusing, Roma, but
I'm slightly following along because, like I said, like I have a vague like memories, and a lot of memories are like coming, like the chains are linking together, but it's still there's still chains on the floor that need to be put together. But you're link smithing right now.
Yeah. So Riku, Ansem tells Riku, like, he gives them like the darkness codes so they are protected, Riku and Mickey. And then he asks Riku like, oh, which path will you take? The path of darkness or the path of light? And Riku is like, neither. I'll take the one in the middle. And then Ansem / Diz is like, oh, you mean the path, the twilight path to nightfall or so? And then Riku is like, no, the road to dawn. And then that's the ending.
Dramatic. I love it.
Really fucking nice.
It's really cool
sweet.
because Riku really goes from like being this like gremlin in Kingdom Hearts 1 who basically gets like used, manipulated by like the dark forces to be evil, to saving the day with with Sora to then realizing like, oh shit, there is still darkness in me and it still has hold over me. To then in this game like conquering it. And what's really cool to me is that they aren't like, oh, darkness is bad and you have to get rid of it, but they really actively are like, this darkness is yours and you need to learn how to use it in your way.
You are who you are, and you can't change that, and you shouldn't try to change it. You just have to learn to be yourself.
I love really that. Nice. I love that so much.
And then there's some screens that like tease the next game as always, and we see some screenshots of Roxas with I can only imagine playing like this game on your Game Boy and seeing like Roxas at the clock tower and being like, who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck's that
kid? Why is he in Twilight Town? So that's the game. Oh, there's actually one more thing with Repliku before Riku conquers the darkness with Ansem. This is after everything with Sora happens, so Repliku remembers that he's a replica, and Axel kind of gaslights him into like, oh, there's kind of 2 Rikus now, but there can only be one. You should kill Riku. And then first they go to Sexion, and Repliku absorbs Sexion into him.
Yeah?
To absorb his dark powers or something. Let me look up the one on the wiki, because it's really funny.
He goes a little sicko mode.
Riku Replica. I just saw the actual image and it's actually better than I remembered it. I'm grabbing it right now. There we go. Axel watches as Sexion is absorbed.
Yep. Me too, though.
Me too.
That's sort of how Repliku is like getting stronger by absorbing Sexion, I guess. And then he faces Riku like he's like, oh, there can only be one Riku, let's battle. And then Riku kind of kills Repliku. Let me see if I can find the image. Yeah. And then Repliku just lies there in the grass, which is the biggest mood. And he's kind of like, it's really sad because he's like, I'm no one. I don't have a heart. Where will I go after I die? And
it's so sad.
Riku is kind of like, it's up to you to decide, which is kind of nice. And Repliku is also kind of, from their last conversation, Repliku is kind of more at ease, and he's like, yeah, he's good to go, so to say. He's no longer like this tormented soul, I guess.
It's like, it is literally like Riku looking at his past self, because Repliku, I mean, he has all those memories, but he's also been manipulated to be evil man the same way. And Riku has to tell Repliku like the same lesson that he was taught. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
It's so good.
Big fan.
Especially not now that we're in the spoiler zone. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Repliku is back, and it's kind of like he was like, oh, where will my heart go? And Riku is like, it's up to you to decide, pretty much. And Repliku's decision was to have his heart go to Riku. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, he's back to help, and he helps in like the coolest way possible to sort of help Namine actually get like a real body and become a real person. And
he does the same thing that Riku had to do, where it's like, people like, my memories are fucked, everything in my past is fucked up, but that doesn't mean it isn't real to me, and it doesn't mean I have to change it depending on what other people say. So he just straight up takes the Namine thing as like, that's fake, but I'm going to treat it real because I still deep down just want to protect Namine. So
and it's the only thing that's real about him, because he actually said that to Namine after sort of she broke him with Sora, you know?
very nice. It's very sweet.
It's very good. And like his arc in Kingdom Hearts 3 is also really good. I really love Replica. It's one of my favorite characters. Nominate too. She's great. So yeah.
That's the game.
It's kind of funny when people jump from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 and are like, what the fuck happened? Because it's funny because Sora also doesn't know, and he doesn't know until like Kingdom Hearts 3 somewhere. But all this time, Riku, he just knows. But he never tells Sora.
I mean, yeah.
But also, like, how do you tell that to someone?
Because, like, without context...
Oh my god.
I mean, if you played through 358/2, during that time Sora was asleep, Riku did some stuff that sounds real mean out of context.
Yep.
He probably doesn't remember Shion at all, but he did tell Shion that she is fake and should not exist.
Yeah.
Bro.
And that really fucked with her.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a moment. Have y'all seen the One Piece Baron movie?
No, I have not.
I have not watched a One Piece
Never mind.
movie.
I can't. I
need
guess
to watch it,
You
though.
need to watch it now, especially if you feel this way about Chain of Memories, because I was about to spoil a whole ass One Piece movie for you. And
Yeah, no, I think I've seen like tiny bits to a point where I think I know where you're going with this, but
I'm like my whole body.
don't spoil. I will.
I won't.
Fun. I came out March 2005, so around the exact same time as Chain of Memories. It's
Holy
connected.
shit.
That's fun.
Oh god.
This world is connected.
No, I'm dying right now, man. Like, especially because I fucking played the little bit of Kingdom Hearts I did get to play in Kingdom Hearts 2. I definitely walked into that shit like, who is this man? Why is he here? He just went back to school after this. And then now I get to get the nominee replay through Pleo and Plaquas, and I'm like, fuck, my heart.
And that's exactly how I experienced it too. I think it's a valid good way to go through it is to play through 1 and then 2 and then get all the other context later.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of what Sora got. But I am also biased because that's exactly what I did.
And I mean, what I did going through like Chain of Memories first is also like a really cool experience because like it's kind of this raw experience of like, oh yeah, Sora doesn't remember, but neither do I, you know?
Yeah. So you can kind of like fall into the same thing that he's going through.
Yeah.
Should we mention about what Castle Oblivion is now? Because I really want to.
Yeah. So Roma, do you know Ventus?
Yeah. Remember Birth by Sleep?
So I remember there being a thing about a shitty little man in a shitty little outfit being a shitty little guy.
A lot of those.
And he had Sora's face. And
Vanitas.
Yeah, but that's all I know.
Yeah. So Ventus is from Birth by Sleep. And,
that little man.
Yeah.
The one with Roxas's face.
Yes.
Ventus looks like Roxas and Vanitas looks like Sora.
But it's the other way around.
Kind of. No.
Let's not get into it.
Let's not. Vanitas might be the embodiment of darkness itself, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Remember when Vanitas in Kingdom Hearts 3 offhandedly is like, or Sora and Vanitas are like, Sora's like, so and what you choose is darkness? And he's like, what I am is darkness. And he said it with a capital D, and we had no idea how important that would be.
I mean, that happened like when Union Cross was
yeah,
like
but
going
it was
like
wild.
Anyway, that Ventus, he also gets put in a sleep because his heart is sort of like destroyed by Xehanort, like, and by his battle with Vanitas.
His heart is fucked up, and he's potentially a half of a super weapon that could destroy everything.
And he's pretty much in a coma at the end of Birth by Sleep. So
Aqua's like, you need to take a rest, buddy.
Yeah. So she puts him at like their home in Birth by
Land
Sleep.
of Departure.
And Land of Departure. So as a Keyblade master, she learned like what she could do with Land of Departure and its true purpose, I guess. So she points her Keyblade towards it or in a special place or something. And then the Land of Departure turns into Castle Oblivion.
Hey, yo.
So
And
Castle Oblivion is all fucky and like winding corridors and everything because it was specifically made by Aqua to protect where Ventus is inside that castle.
Yes.
So no one would be able to find him.
Is that why
And
the Keyblade armor's in there?
Yes. And that's also why in Kingdom Hearts 2, Semnis is like, or in Days, I guess, where Semnis sends them to Castle Oblivion, it's to find Ventus, basically. To find that room.
That's why they're there, and that's why in Final Mix of Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas has a scene where he's just talking to Aqua's armor that's on the ground.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to piece together any hints he can to find Ventus.
And we learned this 5 years after Chain of Memories when Birth by Sleep releases.
Good lord.
And that was like mind-blowing to me that was the origin of Castle Oblivion, which is really cool to me. And yeah, maybe that explains like some of the card fuckery too, that's just a thing that happens in Castle Oblivion, like that you have to open doors with like cards and stuff. Maybe Aqua just really likes card games.
You know,
I don't know.
I'm so I have a mighty need that if I ever became like a powerful being, I would use my powers for what I think is good, but the world thinks is evil, and I'd tie down Tetsuya Nomura and make him tell me why. Why is it like this?
Why is it like... I mean, that's the kind of thing, like I mentioned earlier, there are things in Birth by Sleep and Chain of Memories that have the best actual setup and payoff and everything. There's also a lot of bullshit, but it's really cool.
Yeah, because like all the memory fuckery, like you get like sort of foreshadowing towards that in literally all of the first worlds that you go to, when you don't even know that there's like actual memory fuckery going on.
And then when you get to in Kingdom Hearts 3, when you have Aqua, you saved her from the realm of darkness, and then you go to Castle Oblivion, she unlocks it as the land of departure again, and then you have to play as Aqua to fight Vanitas to get Ventus back in the same place that theoretically, like, Sora already fought Marluxia and Replica Riku was fighting everyone.
Yeah.
It was like all in the same place. We had no idea. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Also, fun thing that I don't think we mentioned, Lexaeus was in this game. Everyone forgets because he's easily the most forgettable.
No, I talked about Lexaeus.
We mentioned him. I just think it's funny that I think canonically, like in the timeline, he is the first organization member that you fight that is fightable, and Riku one-shots him.
I just remember him from the fanfiction comics as like just being tired of everyone.
He's the guy who kind of like knocks out Roxas with one punch in Days.
You train with him and he beats the Shadow Roxas.
It is
the first time he actually he's like sold as like the big strong guy of the group, but his first actual fight he dies instantly.
Yep. But then he also like he basically makes a darkness earthquake that should have killed Riku were it not for King Mickey to like stop the darkness. So it does show that he is like super strong even when he's defeated.
He just gets warped where he's sold as the big strong guy, but is only used to show that other people are stronger than him.
He's a jobber, like in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. He's a mountain to climb.
He is a mountain. That dude's got huge pecs.
Titties.
Yeah.
What else is there to... What else but Chain of Memories do we got?
I could kind of like talk about the gameplay and stuff for hours and hours still.
Yeah.
But Roma has seen me stream. She's seen me like break the card system because like there's a few funny things that you can do. There's a card that makes everything that Cloud does to you like not do anything. It makes you literally invincible to Cloud, which I have a funny video about. I have a funny video about breaking Larxene because there's a way that you can like deplete an enemy or a boss their cards So I depleted all of Larxine's cards, and at that point, she had nothing to do anymore in the game, so she was just constantly reloading her deck, but she had no cards left, so she was just standing there reloading.
Oh no.
Reloading. So
me too, though.
That's the fun thing about the card system. I think that the most fun part about this episode was getting to sort of explain how important this game is to me and to Kingdom, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
And how like the whole got it memorized legacy sort of influenced us up until this day.
Oh yeah, I'm like
that was really nice.
I'm having the more like I mentioned earlier, like the chains are linking together and the memories are coming back from me learning about Chain of Memories. And I'm also like putting together little puzzle pieces from every other time anyone's explained Kingdom Hearts to me. So I feel like I've got this like 2 million piece jigsaw puzzle. And I've now got another little section of the jigsaw puzzle put together. Also, if Kingdom Hearts has not done this yet, if they had like a giant jigsaw puzzle of all of the games that's like 2 million pieces, I think that they should do that.
That'd
should.
Be very fitting.
I should work for the marketing team.
Well, I'm surprised that I still haven't had an episode on this show where I talk about Kingdom Hearts, but I will sometime soon have a long form way to just explain why I like Kingdom Hearts specifically. But this is a big chunk of it for sure.
There's like I have this plan in my head because there's certain series like Kingdom Hearts or I'm trying to remember the other ones off the top of my head. Or like even Homestuck, JoJo's,
like
One Piece. Like there's so many of these long form series that need to be addressed because you really can't like just leave it at a 1 hour, 2 hour like
at the fake 30 to 45 minutes.
Time is a lie. I have time blindness, but I've been trying to figure out ways of like how can we like really encapsulate these large IPs effectively. And I kind of like with Kingdom Hearts right now, this is the second episode. And I know we have another person who's been wanting to, I don't want to spoil who it is or what it is yet, but we've got all these people who want to talk about Kingdom Hearts. And I'm like, how do I split this up?
More Kingdom Hearts is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. And it's another jigsaw puzzle. How do I put it together?
The way I'm seeing my part of it right now is I would ramble too long that I would feel bad if anyone else was here with me. So I'd probably do that on my own. But anything else, like it's a beast. It's a monster.
It's a beast.
We could easily fill a 30 to 45 minute episode on the fake little flip phone Japanese only Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh,
like every single part of it is weird.
Yeah, I think what's effective about the way that we're doing it right now is sort of like not going in order, not wanting to explain every little bit and connection. Because like it's too much to explain like this. I think like just giving you the puzzle pieces that we really like. And then at one point you'll have like a lot of puzzle pieces. And at that point, if there's like an episode going like, let's connect all those pieces that you have. Would be like really effective and like really sort of the Kingdom Hearts way to do it.
We've done 2 episodes so far, and I don't think a single time we've mentioned what a Keyblade is because that's a whole episode on its own.
A Keyblade. Oh God,
Keyblade.
Okay, Keyblade. I'm cooking right now. I don't even know how to put it into words. I don't even want to like
let them cook.
Let them cook. But if also listeners, if you've got any pitches and concepts and ideas, I'm here to listen to them. Just send them to me if you've got any pitches or ideas for like how to go about this. But I'm cooking right now. I got ingredients.
Yeah, and also like just throw like Kingdom Hearts shit in this chat, I guess.
Yeah, do it. Do it now.
I've been out. My brain has been able to escape Kingdom Hearts for a while now, and I think I'm ready to just go back in.
My hyperfixation is fully back now that I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 1. Like the second I started it up, I was like, holy shit, it's like magical to finally play Kingdom Hearts 1 like for myself after like what 18 years. Finally playing
Hearts...
through like Kingdom Hearts 1 myself is so magical, and it's like fully like gotten me back into it. So I hope we get news soon for something new. Give me Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is like my comfort game. Every time I play that game, I just feel happy. But my download for it has just been completely fucked on Epic Games, so I have not been able to play it. It just crashes all the time. So once I fix that, I'll be back into it. But I also have never finished Remind, so I should do that too.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm just like going through the collections right now. So like starting with Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm just gonna be going through everything.
Oh goodness.
That's good times.
Also, a fun thing about Chain of Memories that I sent both of you is like I started working on like a Kingdom Hearts RPG Maker game, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories RPG Maker game. I've gotten like a lot of characters and like the Castle Oblivion rooms, and I started on Traverse Town, but it's kind of on a halt right now because I'm just playing games myself instead of making one. But
enjoy your life.
I do have that cooking very slowly in the background. So
it's slow cooking. It's got a braise.
It's in the what is it called? I guess
it's in the crock pot.
It's in the crock pot.
Yeah.
We all got things in the crock pot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Ah, man. Okay. So I'm trying to think. I feel like, we're on the cooldown. We're on the cooldown, right? Am I interpreting correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Roma?
That's what I'm trying to. All right. These are so I'm going to start with this. So again, like there's my limited exposure and my, chunks of knowledge that I have of Kingdom Hearts, which is a great deal. It's not as much as maybe you two have, but I feel like more than the average man, I have a good chunk of Kingdom Hearts knowledge. But I'm also smart enough to know that I know nothing. But I do have a great deal of Organization 13 fanfiction knowledge. And so based on that, I would like to start with that my favorite organization member is Sayax.
Okay, may I ask why? Because I have
a I just remembered.
Yeah.
Because he's a little puppy. And then Demix is like, this is my little puppy dog. And the whole time they just pacify this man who's supposed to be this like scary motherfucker to just being a giant puppy boy. And it's so funny to me. And then he's just tamed by this little fucking twink with a guitar. And I think it's the cutest shit ever. And so with that, in terms of not canonical, in terms of fan fiction, who is your favorite Organization 13 character?
Can I just say first, 3 things?
Yes.
In order. For people who, as far as I understand it, for people who don't know much about Kingdom Hearts, like they've played 2 and maybe one other game, as in KH2 and one other game, they think in general that Sayax is extremely boring, one note and uninspired. Specifically, I've seen there's a story, Aaron Hansen, Game Grumps man, Ego Raptor. I remember him tell a story on one of the Game Grumps shit. He made like a fan page for Sayax back in like 2007, specifically because he saw him as a nothing character no one could ever like.
Bruh.
Whereas if you are deep in the Kingdom Hearts muck as we are, Sayax's story is pretty fucking sad because he had a best friend for the longest time, and then he just started seeing his best friend find other friends because his best friend did not like him anymore.
Heart.
Sad as
hell.
And he gets like heavily manipulated in Kingdom Hearts 3 by Semnis.
It when you dig into it a little bit, it's sad as fuck. And my third point, shout out to my Twitter page for Sayax. Yeah, it's linked in the
I had it ready.
Discord there. I have not logged in there for so long, but I made some funnies on there.
Roma, you know that I'm like Luxord, right? Or Luxord, as it used to be.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what? Did you not know that? So
there was a period in time where a bunch of us, it was either the Gotta Memorize Discord or the Standoff podcast. I don't remember which one it was at that point. But a bunch of us made pages for different characters. And that was when I was really into my Photoshop.
You know what?
Deal.
Maybe we should bring this back up. Did anybody claim Larxene already?
Yes.
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 And it was unknown who it was for the longest time, but that was me. I was.
Was that you?
I was the. Yeah,
Give me the login.
I can.
Give me
you
the
would
login.
really like
We're
the
gonna
app.
bring this
Actually,
back.
this is great because this is how Luxord Suxord. That's how it started. It's now Luxord Suxord. That's how I always say it. But like that.
Oh my god.
Because she's
that's
number 12.
literally
That was the
how Luxord Suxord started. Either Joe, I think Joe made it as a like gag for interstitial because Luxord was there and everyone was like, "Oh, I hate Luxord." And they were kind of like shit posting Luxord thing, or they only had like 2 posts or something, and that's when like hating on Luxord became a thing, and that's when I was kind of like, actually, I think I kind of like Luxord, and then everyone was like, "What? No, we hate Luxord," and that's the point when I was like in my peak like meme making with interstitial, and at one point Joe was just like, "Wouldn't it be funny if we gave Plaquas the login?" And that's what they did, and that's when I became the Luxord.
You are holding on to a relic. Oh my god.
Yeah, and like that's how that all started. That's why I have like an Instagram account with like 2,500 followers or something.
What?
Because I posted like daily Kingdom Hearts meme shit on there. And it's called Luxord Suxord.
That's beautiful.
This
Yeah.
is one of my favorite pictures I made for the Syx page. I wish it was Xehanort for Christmas or Halloween.
And like what I consider the golden age of this was when Kingdom and I were like memeing back and forth. We were like really like I would make a meme that like addressed at Syx, at Kingdom as Syx, and then as a reply Kingdom would make a meme, and we were just kind of like fully into the characters at that point.
Oh, also don't forget Jakey, our very own Jakey was Demix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Colton was
Demix Schmemix.
Sigbar.
All right.
Yeah,
So, I mean, this will be the jig will be up when the episode comes out, but no cap. I really would like to do some like build up to this. You feel me? So in like the next like week or so, we just start doing bullshit on these accounts, and like I don't know how we'll do the bullshit, but I really do think we need to stir up some bullshit with these accounts.
I have an idea. I'm posting right now.
All right.
Forcing me to go back to x.com shows bullshit.
I'm so excited for this.
Do I still have the... Oh yeah, and I also had Everything Has a Luxord, your fave's Luxord account.
Yeah,
But I post on that saying I'm never logging into this account again.
I was explaining like everything has a Luxord to my girlfriend like last week.
Yo, honestly, I do to this day. Like, if I'm watching something, I'll be like, "There's this show's Luxord." Like, you've ingrained that in me on accident, or maybe intentionally. Who can say?
Thank you.
God, I used to be funny.
Click on the link that I sent before that, the Luxord Suxord. That's the start.
Good.
That's the start.
I will find you the login for the Larxene account.
Oh, I should not. You know what? I liked it as the hyperfix, but that's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
They won't know.
They won't know. Give me that login right now.
I have to find it. I do not have it logged in anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm having a fucking blast right now, but I do need to wrap up. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We'll be up to some organization shenanigans.
I'm very excited.
Soon.
It'll be so good. All right. So where do we want to start? We should start with the guest, correct? Am I correct?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Plaquas, where can we find you and Luxord on the internet?
I'm still on X, Twitter. I'm not going to call it X, sorry. I'm still on Twitter at Plaquas or at Luxert. But as we all know, it's still dying. It has been since season 1, I think.
Yep.
And since my last appearance, I have made a Tumblr account, which is, I think, just at Plaquas, if that's how Tumblr works. I'm still kind of figuring it out.
I'll figure it out.
And I have a Blue Sky, at which I am, of course, as you can guess, at Luxert.
Oh, okay.
Because it was available.
Nice.
I don't really post that much anymore. I am always cooking, so like I will be up to stuff. But as for now, it's kind of calm, I guess, as I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts myself, so you'll just find posts about that. Like, feel free to just talk to me about Kingdom Hearts because I really like it. I'm always listening to podcasts, so you can probably find me on Discord in a lot of network adjacent and hyperfixation adjacent Discords. So yeah. For the rest, I'm not really up to anything. So
righteous, right on.
Right on.
Heck yeah.
And I guess I'm next.
Yeah, you tell the internet.
Yeah. I don't go on social media anymore, and I feel a lot better about it. You can find me at Best Buy. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I work there. And you can find me on Guild Wars 2, Crystal Desert. I just transed my Necro, so he's a dude now, and I love him. Secret of the Obscure sucked, but I'm playing through End of Dragons for the first time, and I'm liking it. That's it. And I'm also perpetually cooking, but not everything makes it to the window. You know what I mean?
To the window.
Yeah.
To the window.
Anyway, Roma.
Oh God, me. I'm on the internet. I'm also not on the internet as much as I used to be. But I am cringe, but I am free. As at luxer.bsky.social says.
I thought you were gonna say as Lil Nas X says.
No.
Oh God.
Lil Nas X is kind of Luxer.
Yeah, honorary.
Kingdom Cat liked my tweet.
So you can find me on the internet pretty much anywhere at I Appreciate Your Butt. On Twitter, on Tumblr. Good luck on Instagram. Definitely on Blue Sky. And you could also find this podcast at the Hyperfix Pod at Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Blue Sky, and TikTok. So yeah, I post a lot on the TikTok. So there's stuff there and episode announcements and all that fun stuff. So you should take a gander at it. If you were a part of the stream we had for Star Trek, you will remember that I did try to buy a website, but you know what? I fucked up and they refunded me and said you don't get the website, so I have to fix that.
We still from Standoff, we still own, or Cat still owns standoff.website.
So I gotta fix the website.
It's still a thing.
Let's see. And then in here somewhere I'm gonna put the plugs for the rest of the information and the stuff and the things.
We also do a little bit of streaming. You should check us out at twitch.tv/I Appreciate Your Butt as well. But if we're not streaming there, you should check out our network. Thank you to the Moonshot Network for letting us do Moonshot things. You can find them at twitter.com or Blue Sky at Moonshot Pods or twitch.tv/Moonshot Network. If you want to find their YouTube or a Twitch in a more fun way, go to moonshot.mov, M-O-V. We have a website too, moonshotpods.com. Check that shit out. But if you want to support our podcast more directly, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thehyperfixation, where you can get episodes up to 5 days early and just, exclusive insights and early access to the Discord channels to talk about the episodes. But if you wanted to support the podcast and have something to take home with you, check out our Redbubble store. I post stuff that you could buy. That would be cool. But This whole thing just isn't possible without our patrons, right? Exactly. I want to especially thank and introduce our newest patron, Morgan Gate 11. Punch me in the face if I pronounce that wrong. But thank you. Welcome to the party. We love you. We appreciate you. We also have here at our party Flo, and we also have Ken. You know, we gotta love the homies out here, especially when one of those homies is Becky Scott Fairley, and most importantly, but not in a hierarchical sense, but in the sense of Ver's been here for a long time. So Ver, thank you. It was also a pleasure at the stream the other day. Thank you. Thank you again, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. We think about you. Thank you for existing. And now, back to the episode.
And now, I want to remind everybody, as usual, to drink your water, be safe, don't die, don't forget, chain the memories,
and may your heart be your guiding key.
May your memory be the guiding chain.
May this podcast be your guiding key.
Maybe the chain of memories was... No, wait. Maybe the memories was the chain we made along the way?
Maybe the Luxherd was the Suxherd we made along the way? No.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Beautiful.
Okay, bye, Craig. Kill him. Kill Craig. Execute him.
Axel, get over here.
Axel watches as Replica absorbs Craig.
Oh my god. Oh shit. Where's Craig? There you are.
Kill.
Murdered. Stop recording.
And stop.
Do you miss getting kicked in the face at Warped Tour? Did you shatter your glasses in a mosh pit in 2007? Did you wear more studded belts than a Final Fantasy character? Then we have the show for you. We are So Emo I Fell Apart, a podcast about third wave emo, late night live journal updates, burnt hair, and everything in between. Join us every second Saturday as we examine major moments in the history of emo and keep you updated on current events. Because it was never a phase.